Hi.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
I'm Casey King.
I'm Chris.
Licensed social worker here at the facility. Nice to meet you, Chris.
Gotcha. Good to meet you. Sure.
So the reason I've asked you to come in today is because I received a referral from your PCP last week stating that you might be experiencing some work-related stress.
Yes, I am.
Is that something you're willing to discuss with me today?
Sure.
Well, that's great. Do you mind elaborating on what might be going on?
Okay, sure. Basically I'm pretty stressed out over, I'm thinking about changing careers right now. I've been working in restaurant work as a restaurant manager for the last 21 years.
Wow.
And same company, and you know, as that's not stressful enough. Now I'm actually looking into pursuing real estate. So I'm just pretty stressed out about trying to change careers and leave what I'm used to doing for so long now.
Sure. It's a big shift.
Yes.
And it sounds like it would be a stressful change, especially not knowing what you're going into. Have you ever done real estate before?
No, I haven't personally, but I've had grandparents that did and some friends and stuff like that.
And were they successful?
Yes, they did pretty decent. They lived pretty well. So.
What motivates you to make such a change?
Well, currently the job that I have now, it's pretty demanding. It's fast paced. It's up early mornings, and sometimes even you're still there late night. And I mean, it's just it's stressful in itself. So you know, and you don't sleep well, you don't eat well, and you know, you fluctuate in your weight, and you know, I mean, it's just a you know, change that I think that I'm ready for. I have to do something differently. You know.
What are some of the pros about switching to real estate?
Switching to real estate, obviously, I mean, schedule would definitely be a pro in that. You know, the schedule would be a lot more flexible. You know, there's you know, it'd probably be the same amount of phone calls, but it would be, you know, on a different basis. I mean, you know, people that are looking to look at houses rather than to, you know, whether it's complaints or, you know, this or that, or something went wrong, or fix this, or, you know, it would just be a lot less stressful to do real estate, I believe.
Okay, and what would be your concerns about switching to real estate?
Well, I would have to say, I mean, it scares me there a little bit because, I mean, right now, I mean, financially, you know, I mean, I've been there for a long time, so I mean, I don't do too bad now financially, but as far as starting in real estate, the startup in that, I mean, you know, you don't start out with a big client base, so you don't really know how well you're going to do, how successful you are. You know, you're going to be at that, especially at first.
So on the one hand, you are pretty sure you want to make this change because it sounds like you're burnt out from restaurant work.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, right? But on the other hand, you're just it sounds like you might be apprehensive about changing to real estate because it's not necessarily financially stable, at least at first.
Right. I mean, it might not be. You know, I mean, it's just the unknown. You don't know. I mean, you know, I mean, I feel successful where I'm at now, but you know, I don't have any issues there.
So you're afraid you might not be successful with real estate?
Yeah, well, yes. I mean, you really just don't know. You know, I mean, I'd want to do it. You know, I just don't know if I can do that. You know.
And maybe you can't.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not.
But it sounds like to me that you would want to try.
I do. I would really, you know, I mean, I really want to try. I feel that you know, there is a need to get out of the current situation that I'm in now, and you know, I mean, now seems a better time to try than 10 to 20 years from now, you know.
Well, speaking of that, I was just going to ask, where do you stand as far as motivation to change on a scale from 1 to 10? 10 being that you would change everything tomorrow, 1 being you wouldn't change anything at all currently.
I would say I'm probably about say a 7 that I'm ready to change.
So it sounds like you're pretty sure you want to change, but there is room for improvement.
Yes, definitely.
What is the difference between 3 points? What would get you to the 10?
Well, I mean, if I knew that it was solid based financially, that it would go smoothly, then I would probably be closer to the 10 if I knew that the finances were there.
Well, it sounds like you've named a lot of advantages to switching. You've mentioned stuff about health concerns. You've mentioned, you said your parents had done it and were successful, had lower rates of stress. It just sounds like your main concern would be finances.
Yes, yeah, that would be my main concern. I really feel like, I mean, if the money was there, it was just absolutely going to be there, then, I mean, I would, do it today. But just not knowing there, and that's where I guess my main stress comes in from this, is it's the unknown, and I mean, I know I need to change something at some point in time that, I mean, what I'm doing now, it is rather unhealthy, and that, you just got to do something different.
Yeah, so it sounds like you want to change, it sounds like you need to change, but it sounds like you might want to look into your financial situation to see if you're able to change.
Yes, definitely.
Since, real estate is not necessarily something that you go into making money immediately.
Right.
So it sounds to me that you would want to look at your snapshot of your finances and see.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think I need to kind of jump in and, dig around financially and kind of figure that out. I mean, who doesn't carry a mortgage these days? Everybody has a mortgage, and, I mean, cars are paid off, but, I think I really just need to crunch some numbers and, I mean, see which way it lands, and see which way is the best way to go, whether it's now or 6 months from now or next year, I mean.
That sounds like a good plan. So your next step would be to look into your finances and see if you're able to do it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Okay. Well, I think that's pretty much it for today, but it sounds like you've got a good plan.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Maybe
I feel better about it.
You do. That's great.
I sure do.
Well, maybe the next time I see you, you'll have a better idea of what your finances are like and whether you can do it or not. Because it sounds to me like you might be closer to a 10 as far as your want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe your ability to do it might be a little bit different. And we can talk about that the next time I see you.
Sure. All right. Sounds
All right.
good.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate
Thank you for
it
your
so
time.
much.
All right. Bye.